Hi, my name is Samantha Stark, and I'm a junior this year taking IB Bio. For our project, I researched how pollution contributes to the fact that saltwater fish will be extinct by the year 2048. And the reason I'm interested in this is because I want to be a marine biologist when I'm older, and I won't have a job if there are no fish left in the ocean.
Hi, my name is Maggie. I'm a junior in IB Sports Exercise Health Science, and I contributed to this project by researching climate change. I'm interested in climate change because I think it's important to stay involved in how humans are harming the environment and what we can do to stop it.
Hello, my name is Richard Lopez, and I contributed to this group through researching over fishing, and I was also really interested in this topic given that I myself have fishes as pet, and I kind of felt like a personal connection right there, and I thought it would also be a really interesting topic, so yeah.
Our Group 4 project examines a claim made in a CBS article stating that saltwater fish extinction will be seen by the year 2048 due to overfishing, pollution, and climate change.
Water from rain and flooding flows over land and picks up fertilizers, petroleum, pesticides, and animal waste. This runoff is then disposed into oceans and rivers. Animal waste comes from factory farms that generate more than 1 million tons of manure per day. Since there is no good way to dispose of this waste yet, the pollution finds ways into the oceans and rivers due to land runoff. Fertilizers and animal manure are dense with nitrogen and phosphorus. An overabundance of these elements cause hypoxic or dead zones in oceans, which either kill off the fish in these locations or cause them to mobilize. About 2,000 species of fish and almost half of sharks and rays are noted as endangered and facing extinction. 100,000 sea mammals are killed due to pollution every year. An array of marine-specific researchers agree that at the rate of endangered saltwater fish dying from pollution, there will be little to no fish left in the oceans around the year 2048.
Another aspect to consider is climate change. Research from the University of Washington states that there is no place on Earth where fish are not affected by climate change. Tropical fish are already living in the peak of their tolerance, while ocean-dwelling fish are used to their colder temperatures. Both will be shocked by any gradual increase in temperature with a decreasing amount of oxygen in the waters. Scientists countering the claim that fish will be extinct by the year 2048 argue that many fish will actually learn to adapt to these changes. Climate change affects many of their biological processes, however, the rate fish are able to adapt may not always be larger than their mortality rate. Finally, the adaptations that fish undergo are not always useful. One major adaptation is a decrease in size. Warm waters yield fast metabolism, and therefore there is a demand for oxygen that the ocean does not have due to an increase in evaporation. Additionally, National Geographic claims that the size of fish decreases 20 to 30% for every 1 degree Celsius increase, which shows that fish with long lifespans may shrink until they die, instead of learning to adapt and have a typical life. They also claim that the average body weight for around 600 species will shrink about 12 to 14% by 2050, which is interesting because that goes directly against the claim that saltwater fish will be extinct by 2048. However, National Geographic's argument refers to only 600 species, and they may or may not be saltwater fish.
Another factor that contributes to this statement is overfishing. To clarify, overfishing means more fish are being killed at a faster rate than at the rate that they are able to reproduce. This then leads to a decline in the population of the fish that is being, overfished. This is a huge deal since this would disrupt the food chain and the marine life. If the food chain is to be broken at any level due to overfishing, it will have a domino effect on all other living organisms that depend on each other and consequently affect the marine life in general, in which then can actually lead to saltwater fish being extinct by 2048. Every single aquatic plant and animal has a role to play when it comes to balancing the ecology. In order to thrive, marine creatures require a certain kind of environment and nutrients for which they may be dependent on other organisms. If humans are to keep this up, the statement of that saltwater fish are to be extinct by 2048 will turn out to actually be quite true.
Pollution connects to climate change in the sense that both the toxic wastes that are dumped in the ocean and the careless amounts of CO2 emissions account for the rising temperatures and the depletion of the oxygen in the ocean.
Both the effects of climate change and pollution are much worsened when bring overfishing into the mix. Overfishing not only takes more fish out of the ocean, boats and transportation pollute the water. This causes climate change.